Billy Tarasio from Modern Law, and today I want to talk about the concept of supporting families and keeping children safe. So these are obviously two very important goals that the family court has, and sometimes they don't always match up, or what one party thinks is going to be safe, the other party doesn't. It happens literally all the time. The idea of supporting families is, in Arizona, the presumption there is to support families, you want children to be with each of their parents as much as possible. And then, of course, the other side is that safe for the children? Are they as safe with one parent as they are with another? And safe can mean a lot of things. We now use safety to talk about, like, is this conversation safe? Do I feel emotional safety? Do I feel like I can be my whole self? Do I feel like I'm open to criticism? Like, we're so much, our society has become so much more open to the concept of nurturing and emotional safety and psychological safety. And it goes well beyond just, is my child going to be beaten? And then there are situations where there's past trauma. It's another very popular current word, but there's past trauma that a child has experienced by one parent. And the court is in the position of figuring out, okay, how do we rebuild that relationship? Because the truth is, I don't know that any of us parents, if we're being honest, can get through our child's life without traumatizing them. We aren't perfect. There are moments when we're short or we're rude or we say something hurtful. And, part of that is just part of growing up, is dealing with trauma and learning how to cope with trauma, because life's not all rainbows and unicorns, right? There are things that happen that are hard on kids, and that's okay. We want them to be resilient. We want to build resilience. And the only way that you get to build resilience is by experiencing something negative and working through it. I was just talking to my 9-year-old today about pain. He doesn't have a very good relationship with pain. He will avoid pain at all costs. He had to get the COVID test, and it was like, he's still talking about it. It was like 2 weeks ago, and he's still talking about it as the most painful thing in the whole world. And it came up because he's got a little cactus needle stuck in his knee. And it's been there for a while. And getting the cactus needle out the first time, there were few needles, was so traumatic for him that he won't go back and do it. But it's like coming out. And so I was talking to him about how, what that process would look like with lidocaine, and then they would open it up, and he's so adverse to pain. And it opened up the conversation of, buddy, pain is part of life. And the more we can change our relationship with the idea of pain, the better. Which brings us back to the topic. How do we support families and keep children safe? What constitutes domestic violence? Is a toxic relationship where one parent is controlling and mean and rude and consistently, vindictive, abusive? Maybe not. It depends. And it depends on your judge, and it depends on your circumstance. And also, part of what judges say is, so what? So what? Let's say you were treated terribly during your marriage. You're divorced now. And the question is really, are the children going to be treated terribly? And is a acceptable parent better than no parent? Now, many judges think yes. The research doesn't necessarily support that. The research supports that children are best when they are protected from conflict. And sometimes the best way to protect them from conflict is to reduce the number of transitions between houses. So the bottom line here is supporting families by encouraging contact with both parents and keeping kids safe are two ideals and values that sometimes come into conflict. And figuring out how to do it is a case-by-case basis. And if you feel like your judge isn't listening to you, or you're not getting your point across with the judge, or the judge isn't truly understanding the complexity of your personal situation, then you need to talk to your lawyer or get a better lawyer. You may be able to get an expert witness to help you make your case, do a bonding assessment, get a report, give the judge more information, or information in a way that he or she will consume that information differently, because that's their goal too. Keeping kids safe and supporting families. That's all for now. Make sure to subscribe, check out the Modern Divorce podcast, and let me know your questions, and I'd be happy to tackle them. Bye.